Hello, Senior Stoner fan. Just the real Senior Stoner back at you for your scientific inhalations triple filtered bubbler and Gpen Connect dab of the day. Today is Wednesday. Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining me. As always, if you benefit and enjoy today's video, please join the Senior Stoner family. Hit that subscribe button. Please send a like my way also, and I respond to all the comments and truly enjoy them. Let's get to today's topic. Well, there are a lot of uncomfortable moments out there in life. We need techniques to get past them. The world is opening up again. I don't need to say anything else about that. And there are going to be a lot of uncomfortable situations going forward. Whether it's at a party, whether it's at a restaurant, whether it's at home, whether it's in a business. What do you do when you have these uncomfortable moments? How do you trick yourself into being happy? Smile. Smile as big as you can, because smiling elicits another response from people. It's a free expression and an outward sign that intensifies it. So there's no shortage of research saying that smiling, a facial expression resembling the pattern of smiling, definitely triggers a positive emotional response. What do you think about that? I know how to fake a smile, so does everybody else. Okay, so the next time you're uncomfortable, give it a try. Also, it's important to think about asking questions. It takes the pressure off you during those weird situations. Instead of just standing there, miserable at that party where you feel uncomfortable, strike up a conversation with a stranger. You may find common ground. If it's a workplace, the parties involved may know each other loosely. You might be able to find a more enjoyable place to be. When you do ask the question, try to phrase it as more of an opinion than a fact. So if you're asking someone when they graduated college, it's going to get a one-word response. But if you ask them what their favorite class was, you're going to get into a conversation. So try to ask things that are going to be more opening, if that makes any sense. So what's been your favorite book that you read? Okay? Things like that. So guess what? What advice would you give somebody for a job if they had kids or at work or at school? So you're going to be able to ask those questions right away in a situation if you feel uncomfortable. Some people can't ask those questions. To other people, when you're uncomfortable, you get anxious and stressed out. So those, unfortunately, are emotions that are only going to add to the foul situation you're already in. So what we've got to try to do is relax. We've got to try to take the air out of the tire a little bit. We've got to do slow abdominal breathing, which nobody can tell you're doing. You want to make sure that you're filling with air and you're expending the air, mouth and nose. It's called square breathing. You want to adjust your body language. If you're standing there like this in the room, do you think anyone's going to want to talk to you? Probably not, okay? So what you want to do is you want to be there for other people. You want to be approachable. You want to improve your own mood. And with your posture and non-slouching and a better self-esteem, guess what's going to happen? People will start talking to you. That's right. You struck the power pose and you're talking the right way. And guess what? You could be talking on the phone, talking to yourself. Somebody took notice and now they're coming towards you. The ultimate reason that during the entirety of my business career, I showed up early, and I mean the first person, before the owner of the company was there, I was there, is because I knew that by showing up early to everything, it would eliminate, if not minimize, if not eliminate, my stress. I became the high ground. I knew the lay of the land, even though I'd never been to these places before. So I knew that it was best for me to get there first. So I shook their hands as they walked in instead of me shaking their hand as I walked in. This was just my mission, and it worked out that way all my adult life. The advantage to you, to all of you out there for arriving early, is a chance to figure out where the escape route is. Yep. You're going to be able to eye the bathroom. You're going to be able to eye the exit. You're going to be able to move quick as you need to move, where you need to move, if you arrive early. Now, I'm not just talking about 5 minutes early. I'm talking about if the store opens at 9, you get there at 6:30 and park in the parking lot. And when the manager walks in at 7, you open the door with him. That's what I'm talking about. And it will take that pressure out of that tire incredibly. The tire, the stress. And then what you can maybe do is remember that when you're in a stressful situation, okay, there's a lot going on a lot of times. What if you're in a stressful situation and there's nothing going on? What if you're in an uncomfortable situation that got worse with silence? What if you've told a story, you've made a joke, and it got the response of you hear crickets? Now what happens? Well, how about enjoying the silence? The silence. The gap between your talking. If it's valued, it will allow people to digest what we just discussed and to discover what we want to say next. Because as it emerges, people, you want them interested in what you have to say next. So silence is actually a tool. The chairman of the board, at his boardroom, 35 seats, speaks like this. Talks about at this tone, mostly monotone. Why? So everybody else has to listen. We want to focus on the positives. You know, we talk about that for a lot of things. But instead of carrying a negative attitude into the situation, you're dreading the party. You're scared of going to the relative's house. You've been there in the past. You know your aunt is just going to nag you. But you've survived it. It's only been once a year. Well, if you don't feel like going out and you don't feel like doing it, you know what? You're not facing reality. You do want to do it. You haven't been out in a year and a half. You do want to see these people and catch up with them. So you've got to take a moment and push aside what you remember or think you remember. You want to, instead of harping on the negative outcomes that you remember, you want to take a minute and strive to find those positive outcomes that occurred also with those same situations. And believe it or not, you will discover, I believe, that there's always something to be positive about. And it lets us laugh. And it lets us laugh with others. You know that your sense of humor is one of the most powerful tools that we have? That's right. Laughing. Everybody wants to join in on the fun, even if you don't know what's going on. It's infectious. And it improves the mood instantly. And I think as we live the circular life, come around on the top every time, have two things, hope and opportunity, I think we have to remember to take it easy. That's right. Because we get worked up. We tend to ramble when we worked up or talk rapidly when we're worked up. And then words come out jumbled. People don't understand what we're trying to say. And it's going to make you feel more uncomfortable. Set back. Take that breath before speaking and slow down the conversation when you're talking to others. It will help you and them focus on the discussion and not just your current emotional state. You want to make sure you put your situations in perspective, because we need to understand that sometimes you have every right not to be the happiest. If there's been a problem at home, a problem at work, you were injured, the people around you should respect that you're not in the best mood and maybe downright miserable. And you should do the same for them as well. But remember, you don't want to be stuck in the mud. Even if you're not 100%, you can still make the effort best you can. Never ignore your own misery, but find a balance. It maintains and allows you to increase your self-confidence because you're going to be building and improving healthy relationships, and you're going to be able to show yourself that you're improving, because you first need to work on building up your own self-esteem before you can tell others how you want to live with them. And the real important thing to do is remember that your insecurities are about ourselves. Getting wrapped up in those things and sharing them with everybody and diving into that and getting into the negative stuff really doesn't do a favor for anyone. And there's a thing called speed dating, where I think you get a minute, then you move on, a minute, you get out. Think of that when you go to your next place where you meet people. It's speed dating. You're not going to be having hour-long conversations unless you really want to. So this has been The Real Senior Stoner. And what we've been talking about, and it's important to remember, that we have opportunities out there to change what people think of us. If we're in an uncomfortable situation, we can deal with it, okay? Whether it's finding where the door is because you got there early and scoffed it out and know everything about what's there, or it's just knowing that you don't have to take it personal. Whatever you use, whatever tool you use to help you, just take the time, take a moment, and think about it as you go through. Let's take our dab of the day now. I expect a good one. With diamonds and my SI pipe, triple bubbler, and my Gpen Connect. Here we go. Cheers, everybody. Thanks for joining me today. Let's get some cotton balls going. Black background. Very nice. No coughing. Thanks for joining me, everybody. You all have a great day. Cheers.